Hi, this is Bethany with Morgan James Publishing, and today I'm speaking with our author, Kathryn MacIntyre. And Kathryn is the author of Marriage Made Easier: 7 Steps to Making Life Better. Hi, Kathryn, and what a beautiful cover and book you have to share with us today.
Thank you so much, Bethany, and thank you for the interview.
Oh, we are so excited to speak with you today and to dive into what inspired you to write this book and how it can really help people, because this is a tough topic, and sometimes marriage is not very simple or easy. So you've written a whole book that helps tackle that very topic. So I'd love to ask you some questions about it, and really dive into the heart of your message. So if you would, could you tell me why you decided to write this book?
Of course. Um, at the time I wrote the book, I was losing my memory. I had a severe thyroid problem, and I thought, what if the medication doesn't work? Um, I better get down all the gems I've learned throughout my lifetime that have gotten me as far as I have gotten. And I'm in a wonderful relationship. But I was raised on the premise that life is tough, kid, get used to it. That didn't teach me a lot of relationship skills. And so I went in search of them because I love being married. I love being in a relationship. I love being in love. Um, so this book literally has every best idea that worked for me. They're all tried and tested over years of time. I have traveled as far as China and Tibet, spent a month in Tibet, searching for answers how to improve my marriage. Um, so it teaches many different, there are over 100 different ones. Yeah. What worked yesterday doesn't often work today. What works with one person doesn't work with another. So the book is for anyone who's in a good marriage, but just maybe it's getting a little tired and just like, oh, what could I do? Or it's just not as much fun as it used to be. It can also be for people who feel at a crossroads that I'm in my third marriage. The men were good providers, they were wonderful men. But when I ascertained that we wanted different things and really big different things, that neither of us was going to get what we wanted, I said goodbye and we ended on good terms. But it's painful. Oh my gosh. And if I could keep a few people from going through divorce, especially with children, it shatters a life. And I just, that's why I did it, was just to um, share. I'm a real proponent to, I want to say I'm against divorce, but I've been divorced twice. So, and the first time was with small children. So I just really want to be, okay, my kids are real successful and adults and don't need any mothering. So if there were some people, male or female, that just I could, I want to say be a mother to, be a grandmother to, um, that
Yeah,
would make,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. So that must have been kind of scary though, feeling like you were, losing the memory and having all of this like insight and wisdom and experiences that you faced in life. That must have been a moment, that must have been, a little bit scary, and you wanted to preserve that advice and that wisdom. And I think that's so beautiful.
That part was actually easy in the sense that, oh, I'm not going crazy. Okay, I have a physical problem. I can take a pill every day.
Mhm.
So, but it took longer than they expected, but it was a severe problem. And so I did get scared of maybe the pills aren't going to work. And that's like, I'm a writer. I've already published 12 children's books. This is the first for adults. Way harder to impress kids, make kids laugh, real easy. But oh my God, the stress I went over, just like, oh, what are they going to say? Oh, maybe I shouldn't say it that way. That'll offend somebody. And there were just so many considerations. So
Yeah.
it's impossible to keep opinions out.
Mm,
And my opinions have changed 30, 40 years later.
mm,
Um, so I can just tell I did the best I could then. And now I have a different perspective because when I was in China and already divorced for a second time, I had over 36 epiphanies of how I could have been happy in the previous marriage.
mhm.
He would have been happy, our angry neighbors would have been happy, and they were simple fixes. But when you're upset, when you're scared, when you're mad, you don't see those options. It actually takes a moment of a heightened level. I'm going to call it joy. I've never been above joy, but I've been at joy a lot. And I'd be like arm in arm with my current husband, and I would see something, go, I could have done that in my past house. Oh my God, that would have made everybody, it would have made me happy. And it's like, well, 7 to 10 years is too late to go back and fix problems, especially when you're already married to somebody else. And both men have gone on to marry the joys of their life, and I'm happy for them. I really am. If they're not happier, what's the point of getting a divorce? But so it's really for women who are smart enough to realize you usually can't change the other person. And but if you're brave enough, and it does take bravery and courage, and it takes a lot of just going, okay, how can I change to get what I want? It's not about change to compromise. It's about, I want this. What do I have to change inside of me? And but the book doesn't have to be hard, and but to be happy does take a lot of courage.
Mm. It does
You
take
have to
courage. It
assess
does
what you
take
want
effort.
and need. And
Hmm.
that's where the book starts, assessing what do you need. I
Mm.
can't give you everything you want, but let's assess what you need. What aren't you getting? And sometimes that can be as simple as just taking classes that give you validation of interests of yours. I mean, that's making it really minor, but
Mm. Wow. No, that's fantastic, and I think it's so beautiful that you again want to share experiences from your own life, and you went on this journey to really uncover and discover, um, uh, strategies or techniques that could work, and you want to make that available to other people. And I know there are so many people in a marriage or a relationship that might be struggling to make things work, and especially as you mentioned, when there's children involved, there's additional layers on top of it that add so many complications, and it does take courage to face just the whole topic of you know
just to reveal what you want takes courage. That's like, well, I'm telling my deepest secrets. I really want a cat. I mean, it sounds stupid, but it's real. It's real. And it keeps us from being happy, being authentic. And it's like, seriously? Is that all it would have taken? And my first two husbands would have done, had I figured out what I needed and wanted, they would have been like, I'll give that to you. But I didn't know. And it wasn't until I went to China expecting to heal my second marriage. Instead, I landed in a hospital in 3 weeks, told to lay flat, couldn't read a book, couldn't watch a movie. It's a long story. I decided I either go crazy or I find joy. So, meditating all day for 3 weeks, I found joy really fast in the first day. And so I was there 8 years. I went for one. It was wonderful. I was an ESL teacher. It's how I met my current husband. And he's the love of my life. And I feel now I live in Canada. I live in Nova Scotia, which is just beautiful and has some of the lowest numbers in the world for COVID. And COVID is making married putting more stress on marriages. Now you're home all day. It's like being retired. you're with the guy all day long. That was an adjustment when we retired from China. And it's like, seriously, we can't get away from each other. And so I had to come up with some new strategies
Mhm.
for how to make that work, to become a citizen of Canada. I'm an American. And it's like, oh my God. But the difference of no longer being an expat without a country, because I live in Canada, to saying, I'm going to become a citizen. Now I'm just a newcomer. I'm now in, and I'm getting all these programs and just I belong. And belonging is really a vital part.
Oh, belonging is so, so important. I'm so happy to hear that. And Nova Scotia is so beautiful. So it sounds like this path has led you to an amazing place. And I love what you said earlier about, maybe a technique might not work from day to day, or, as individuals, we are all changing. So within the context of the relationship, each individual might be changing and growing. And so the way that you need to navigate life together may need a new strategy and a refresh there. So you've got so many strategies in your book. So I'd love to ask you, I know you mentioned earlier, because I did want to ask you about your children's book, but this is your first book for adults. So yeah, I'd love for you to speak about the children's books that you have, and then maybe talk about who this book is for.
Well, the first children's book was Everyday Circus. It's based on a true story of raising my kids. Sorry about that. When we had 23 pets, it was an everyday circus, and my daughters were 4 and 12, and it's just a fun book about what it's like to live with 23 pets. So Everyday Circus. And then I'm doing a series, it's an ABC series of A is for Alligator. These were written for teaching the Chinese children. They've been translated into, they're in English, I don't know if you can see, Pinyin and Chinese, to make fun books. So and now that I live in Canada, Mandarin is also the third most spoken language. It's the third most spoken in America as well. So looking to promote them here as well, and am promoting them here. And then I have a couple, 2 poem books. I don't have it right in front of me. Anyway, so they're just fun. The poem books are all based on funny, trying to think, like A Murder of Crows is what a group of crows is called. So with a really great artist just making a play on words of murder, or a chowder of cats. A chowder of cats. I mean, just
Yeah.
these funny names for groups, and so it's a play on those. So I have 2 books of those just because they amuse me. And as a mom, oh, I'm such an impatient mom. I'm a better grandma. I really am. I will read the same book 25 times as a grandma. As a mother, I would only read it once. So we went to the library every week, came home with 20 books and read them each once, took them back, got another set. And so I always felt that children's books the pictures are for the kids and the words are for the parents. So I wrote them kind of to amuse the parents with funny pictures.
Oh, that's so amazing. And you clearly have a gift and a passion for, education and helping other people understand concepts, or just sharing your unique view on a certain thing. Like you mentioned with your poetry books, like you see these things in such a unique, beautiful light, and you've taken the steps to help share that with other people. And I think that is so beautiful. So I would love to kind of wrap up with my last question being about really how can Marriage Made Easier help readers in their marriages and lives day to day?
There are a number of meditations. I hate using that word because people are like, no. And I too didn't meditate until I was flat on a bed and not allowed to do anything. It's like I gotta focus my brain or I'm gonna go crazy. And bedtime is my favorite time. And if I fall asleep in the middle, which I usually do, it's like, great. Isn't that the point of going to bed? You want to fall asleep. And I only know that because it's like, I didn't get past this step. And so when I really need answers, I make sure I sit up and do it. But in times of more than usual stress, when the relationship was just like, I don't know what to do and I don't know how to make this work, I got amazing answers. And it's like, wow, okay. And so it's just giving, and I am recording these because the last thing you want to do when you're doing a meditation is open your eyes, read the next step, close your eyes, go back into a deep, low language state. And so I will provide those on the website so that people can just listen to my voice. And also my books are all recorded, which I don't even recognize my voice. You know that tape recorder when you're a kid and you hear it and you're like, ah, it's like, who is that person? It's a deeper voice. Sometimes I don't know how. Maybe the audio video person turned my voice deeper. Smart man. Not sure.
Oh, amazing. Well, I am so excited for the launch of this new book, for Marriage Made Easier. I know it's going to bring a lot of help to a lot of people who may be struggling in that regard. So, Kathryn, if somebody wants to learn more about you or about any of your books, what's the best way for them to connect with you or find you online?
Since Kathryn MacIntyre is a mouthful, and so I've shortened it to KMac. And so it's just the initials KMAC.shop. It has all my books, videos, and upcoming, I have some more things. And then as an email address, it's bookskmac@gmail.com. So bookskmac@gmail.com. And yeah, I would love to hear from anybody. And I am also a personal coach, and that's another. So it's kind of mushrooming out, and
Awesome.
we'll see.
So great. Well, Kathryn, thank you so much for spending some time today with me talking about your new book, and congratulations on the launch of Marriage Made Easier. Morgan James is so thrilled to be publishing this book, and I appreciate you talking with me about it today.
Thank you, Bethany.